Well, my name is Brianna Sinclair, and this is my 47th week on HRT. On my channel, I post mostly transgender content, and if you like my content, please like, comment, subscribe, and to show me your support. If you have any recommendations or anything that you would like me to cover specifically, please put that in the comments down below, and I'll be more than happy to cover that topic. You can also join me on my Discord and my Blue Sky. And with all of that being said, let's get right into the video. As I said before, it is my 47th week. We are quickly approaching that 52-week point, which would be a full year for me. Quick measurements update. My hips are 35 inches, my bust is 36 3/4, and then my waist is 24 3/4. So my measurements have not changed at all, which I think is perfectly fine. Because just from the start to where I am now, just shows a massive progression and change as far as the way my body has changed, and that's really affirming to kind of be able to quantify those changes. My mental state I would consider very stable. Sometimes I do get very sad, and it's very easy to make me sad, but at the same time it's situational. You can try and come after my feelings with insults and it doesn't really do anything, but if certain people, like my loved ones, try and come after me, they hit a lot deeper than if just someone was talking to me about being transgender, if their opinion was that that I'm just a man in a dress or something like that, and that's simply not the case. Hair reduction and growth. I haven't really noticed anything from this last week to this week, but over the course of my entire transition, I have noticed a significant amount of reduction. Mostly on my arms and my legs, because that's what used to give me the most dysphoria, other than my pubic region and my face. Sorry, my makeup's causing my face to itch a little bit. But those regions would cause me the most dysphoria, which is why I'm excited to announce that this week I'm gonna start electrolysis again, and I am so excited for it because I stopped due to extenuating circumstances, and those circumstances are kind of at an end, so I'm very happy that I can continue on with them, because seeing the hair reduction further with electrolysis was very nice to see, to be honest with you. Breast growth. I didn't notice anything from last week to this week. Yes, over the course of the entire thing, I have had significant growth, and I do expect them to stop growing at any point in time, simply because A, my family's not well endowed in this area, and then B, multiple people have told me that mine are bigger, I guess, than what they would consider, than what they experienced, and so I guess I'm lucky in that aspect, but I don't know quite what that's attributed to or what to blame that on. And blame is not necessarily the right word, but essentially confirmed this is what I did to grow my breast, aside from taking hormones, or something that I did to exacerbate the effects of the hormones as far as breast growth go. But I am thankful for the growth that I've gotten, just because it's a very euphoric feeling to actually be like, oh, these are mine. My chest has been hurting, like, consistently, so I do expect, like, another growth spurt to kind of, like, in that region to essentially start, because I have kind of noticed it comes in, like, spurts. I think that's what I'm noticing as far as, like, my breast growth goes, but regardless, I'm just enjoying the fact that I've now got my own breasts. Fat redistribution, that I have not noticed hardly at all. I know there's been, at least, especially not from last week to this week, because that's kind of like a wide thing. Over the course of everything, I can tell that fat was distributed to my face, and a little bit in my hips, or my butt, because my butt my measurement for that encompasses my butt as well as my hips. I have noticed my body stores fat in, like, my midsection a little easier, so I'm starting to, like, watch my weight a little bit, or at least watch what I eat, which is good. Sex drive. My sex drive is, I wouldn't say, so overall it's kind of decreased a little bit from start to beginning. It hasn't really changed from last week to this week, but the decrease is more in, like, the requirement that I have to have that emotional connection. So it kind of makes it hard, like, because it's, like, it's all based in the moment. So if the moments aren't, like, perfect, then, like, the sex really doesn't do anything for me. So sex is usually a pretty big letdown, and I'm okay with that. I'm not a very sexual person. My sex drive was honestly, like, a worrisome thing for me, because it was so annoying and so distracting, and got in the way multiple times. And I know that, like, many people are like, oh, I wish I had your problems or something like that, but, like, I'm like, I would rather be building like an emotional connection or something than to just be thinking about sex all the time. It's not an area that I enjoy. But I think that's it for my sex drive. Me being tired, yes, I am exhausted, and I'm gonna start trying to wean myself off of energy drinks as soon as, like, I'm done with all of my traveling. Because I do a lot of driving as of right now, and my energy drinks and stuff like that keep me awake, and they help kind of, like, facilitate my lifestyle of, like, very little sleep and offset, like, my acute narcolepsy. All of that is the reason I mostly take energy drinks. The other part that is actually associated with my gender transition is the fact that my testosterone blockers do their job and block my testosterone, which is a major source of energy. Muscle development, I'm still very toned, and it kind of makes me look pretty masculine, to be honest with you. I don't really like it, but it is what it is. I'm kind of just waiting for my arms to, like, thin out a little bit. But I have noticed that, like, even though my muscle, like, I've lost a lot of muscle and strength, My endurance is pretty good. It's definitely not the same, but it's pretty good. And I can still do my job, I guess. This week I've been boy moding a little bit at work, which is fine. I don't like it, but you gotta do what you gotta do. At least my makeup store job. That's where I have the option to boy mode, whereas like my career, I don't have an option at all. I wear a uniform and have to go in that. But due to the due to like time constraints and stuff like that, I haven't had a whole lot of time to go in. Sorry. And do my makeup and stuff and get all dressed and everything for my job. I just go in. I just went in like my androgynous clothes without my hair and stuff, and everything was fine. I did think it was funny, a lot of the people that we just hired had never seen me, like, other than, like, as a girl. So they saw me and thought, like, I was a brand new person, and they read my name tag and was like, oh, that's Brianna. She's just... Excuse me. Whew. She's just boy moding today. And that's fine, I think. I definitely don't want to give them the impression that, like, I'm in boy mode, whatever, like, I'm feeling a certain kind of way. I want them to, like, know that, like, if I'm boy moding, I didn't have a choice. And I think that's kind of obvious, because I'm considerably happier when I go in as a girl, and I perform, I think, a lot better. That's my opinion. As I mentioned before, I'm excited to start electrolysis again to get rid of, like, my facial hair. I'm gonna see if I can't get her to, like, work on my mustache a little bit to permanently get rid of that. Because I can't always get, like, the little hairs, like, underneath, like, my nostrils, and B, that's probably where it's the thickest. And I just kind of want all of my hair gone. And I don't know how often I'm going to do electrolysis appointments, but I'm hoping that I can go every week, and, like, if I'm consistent enough, and she is expeditious, I guess, in her 45 minutes, I can get a lot of hair gone. I'm hoping. This weekend we had the grand opening of my restaurant, and it went very well. I wore something I've never worn before, and I thought it was pretty interesting. It was a skirt with a matching boutier and a matching jacket, and I thought that was pretty cool. And at some point in time, I can probably do a video on that. I think I plan on doing, like, a 1-year video as to, like, when we had the grand opening. We've been open for a little bit, but it was a soft opening that we initially had. But it because it's a franchise. Corporate was looking in on it, and they said that it went extremely well, and that they wish that they could have been there. And I'm honestly glad. My ex pulled me on stage and basically said this is the other half of the restaurant, whereas like she may be the show director. I work, I guess, behind the scenes and do a lot that way. I wish I did more, but I don't really have a whole lot of time. I've been spending a lot of time working on like my resume and stuff like that because I don't know like where my job is going to take me, which is, it is what it is. I've accepted that like I'm probably losing my job at some point just due to being transgender, and I'm accepting the possibility I will never be welcome back, because the amount of, I guess, taboo in nature that being transgender is becoming is almost dangerous. And I don't get it. Usually whenever the transgender members, whether they're trans women or trans men, are usually top performers in their fields. And I'm no exception. I get nominated for things pretty frequently. And I do think it's funny because I don't look like I would be like someone who would do stuff like that or be able to, but I do it anyway. Oh shoot, I'm tired. I think that's it for tonight. If I can think of anything else, I'll just tack it on in my next video. So that way, I know it's covered. Yeah, I think this is a good place to stop. If you like my content, please like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, please put those down in the comments below. I want to thank everyone who helped get my channel where it is today, and thank everyone who helped me get monetized. I don't think I'm gonna do it, but I got permission to, and that is something I never thought I'd have. So I would like to thank every one of you for helping me. I really appreciate it. But yes, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, please like, comment, subscribe. With that being said,